Inner Temple, a Mystic Mandala podcast. Talks on meditation, healing, and the journey back to yourself.
Welcome to the Inner Temple, a sacred space for meditation, healing, and spiritual reflection through guided meditations, soulful teachings, breathwork, and gentle wisdom. The talks on this show help you to quiet the mind, heal the heart, and return to the peace already within you. Whether you're navigating stress, anxiety, heartbreak, or spiritual awakening, each episode is an invitation to come home to yourself.
There is a strange thing about modern life that nobody really warns you about. You can be sitting all day and still feel like you haven't sat down inside yourself even once. You sit for meetings, then you sit in traffic, then you sit in front of a glowing screen that somehow convinces you that everything on it is urgent. And by the end of the day, your body is still, but your mind feels like it has been running laps on and on in an invisible stadium. And that's the paradox we are living in right now. We are more connected than any generation in history, but internally more scattered than ever before. So when people hear the phrase walking meditation, they sometimes imagine it as some exotic spiritual technique, like you need robes or incense, or to be at a retreat center on top of a mountain. But honestly, walking meditation is just what happens when you stop pretending stillness is the only door to awareness. Sometimes the door moves with you. Welcome to the Inner Temple, a Mystic Mandala podcast with me, Vijay. Now there is something worth admitting here, very gently. For a lot of people today, sitting still is not just peaceful, it's actually pressure. The moment the body becomes still, the mind suddenly gets very loud. It starts opening tabs you didn't ask for. Emails from 10 years ago, conversations from last week, the one thing that you said a month ago that still somehow needs some correction. So instead of fighting that, maybe we just stop trying to win that battle. Because awareness was never meant to be a war against your mind. It's more like learning to walk with it without letting it drive. Many leadership thinkers in the modern corporate world, they speak about empathy and awareness not as spiritual ideas, not as softness, but as actual performance skills. And whether you agree with corporate language or not, there's something interesting hidden in that. Clarity is just not about thinking better. It's about presenting enough to actually notice what's happening while it's happening. And presence, it doesn't always arrive in silence. It doesn't need to. Sometimes it can arrive in motion. Sometimes it arrives while you are just walking from your car to your office, or from your kitchen to your balcony, or from nowhere in particular to nowhere in particular. The moment you actually notice it, it becomes a meditation. You know, there was a time when meditation was almost taught as stillness, and it still is. You got to sit straight, you got to close your eyes, don't move, don't think, don't feel too much. And for some people that works beautifully. At our meditation studio in Plano, Texas, we've seen that it happens. But quite a lot of people are fidgeting within and outside. For many modern minds, that instruction to be still is like telling a river to behave like a rock, and it can't happen. In our times, we had a very unconventional mystic named Osho, and he basically said something that made traditional spiritual systems feel very uncomfortable. He said Don't fight your restlessness. Use it, move it, express it, dance it, shake with it. Let the body do what the mind is doing. Because sometimes silence doesn't come from stopping movement. It comes from exhausting resistance. So he created something called dynamic meditation, which looked almost chaotic from the outside. Breathing, shaking, a catharsis, complete movement. But the inner logic was very simple. If your mind is already moving, don't punish yourself for it. Bring awareness into the movement instead. And strangely enough, when the body is allowed to move fully, the mind often stops needing it to move so much. Now it does feel like a contradiction until you try it. Now imagine this very ordinary setting. You're walking through a park in the city that you live in, and it doesn't really matter wherever you're walking. The trees don't check your location before they grow. There's wind on your face and people passing by. A dog pulling slightly too hard on a leash, like it has an urgent business with the universe. And you begin to walk a little differently, not in a slower way, just becoming more aware. Left step, I'm here. Right step, I'm here. Not as a technique, more like a quiet reminder that you didn't disappear between the steps. At first, your mind will resist this. It will say, this is too simple to matter. And then it will say, also, did I reply to that message? And then it will say, why are we walking like this? Is this some kind of thing now? And you just keep walking. Don't argue with yourself. Don't correct yourself. Just walk. Because awareness doesn't argue with thoughts. It just stops believing every one of them needs your immediate attention. And in life, if you look closely, already you are supporting this practice. You don't need perfect silence. You need your participation, self-participation. Even ancient techniques understood this very deeply. Take the Mahabharata for example. The Bhagavad Gita doesn't happen inside a temple. It doesn't happen after retirement from life. It happens on a battlefield. Arjun is standing in the middle of conflict, emotionally overwhelmed, morally confused, unable to move forward, and Krishna doesn't say, let's go somewhere quiet and figure this out later. He speaks in the middle of motion, in the middle of chaos, in the middle of life. That alone is very important, because the teaching is not to escape life in order to find clarity. That's not the purpose. It is to find clarity while life is still happening. That is walking meditation in its deepest sense. Awareness not after action. Awareness inside action. Awareness when action is happening. Today's world makes this even more relevant because distraction is not accidental anymore. It's designed. Your attention is constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions at once. Modern day leaders, thinkers keep circling back to the same realization in different language about how high quality decisions require calm attention than reactive thinking. So many others have spoken about the need for deep focus in a world full of noise. We speak about reflection on self and empathy as an essential for leadership. But if we translate all of the sayings that people are bringing together, putting out there on social media, if we put all of it together in simple human language, it becomes very straightforward. Attention is your life force. Wherever your attention goes, your life goes. And walking meditation is one of the simplest ways to take a little bit of it back. Not by fighting the world, but by returning to yourself inside the world. Of course, it doesn't always look mystical and magical. Not very meditative, yeah? Sometimes it looks like you're trying to walk mindfully and still stepping into a puddle you absolutely saw coming, and yet you didn't stop yourself, you couldn't. Or suddenly realizing you've been mindfully walking in circles in your own kitchen like a confused philosopher who forgot the original intention. I once heard someone say they tried walking meditation and now their phone thinks they are lost but emotionally stable, which honestly might be the most accurate description of modern spirituality I've ever heard. Lost but emotionally stable. And yet another friend told me he was doing walking meditation till someone saw him pacing in his kitchen at 2 a.m. And when asked what was happening, he said, "I'm not too sure if I'm enlightened or I just forgot why I opened the fridge." And I think both of these are valid states of being. There is a Zen story that fits here very well. Two monks are arguing and one says the flag is moving and the other says no, the wind is moving. They can't agree, so they escalate it like all philosophical disagreements eventually do to their master. The master listens for a moment and says, "It's not the flag, it's not the wind, it's your mind that is moving." And suddenly the argument collapsed. Not because someone won, but because someone stopped needing to be mentally moving as much. That's the shift. Taoist wisdom says something very similar, but in an even simpler way. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and I'm sure you've heard this. But there's a deeper layer most people miss. The journey doesn't begin when you arrive somewhere and start. It begins the moment you become aware of the step you are already taking. Not the destination, not the journey, just the noticing. So if we bring all of this together, walking meditation is not really a technique. It is a relationship shift. You stop treating movement as something that takes you away from awareness. And you start realizing movement is where awareness can actually live. You don't need a perfect environment. You don't need silence. You don't need to get it right. You just need to remember every so often that you are here, one step at a time, one breath at a time, one ordinary moment at a time. So here's something simple to try. Not as a rule, but just as a simple invitation. Next time you walk somewhere, anywhere, don't turn it into a performance. Just slow down a little. Not dramatically, just enough so that you can notice. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice your breath without adjusting it. Let thoughts come and go like traffic. You're not really responsible for managing, yeah? You're not the driver of every thought that passes through your mind. Sometimes you're just the space they pass through. And in that space, there is a kind of quiet intelligence that was always there. Not forced, not created, just remembered. Because meditation was never about leaving life behind. It was always about meeting life fully, without disappearing from yourself in the process. And sometimes the most honest way to meet life is just to take the next step with awareness.
Thank you for listening to our show, The Inner Temple. If this episode brought you peace, clarity, or healing, share it with someone who may need it too. And until next time, breathe deeply, move gently, and remember, the sanctuary you seek is already within you. We are located in Plano, Texas. You can get more information about our meditation studio, festivals, and retreats at mysticmandala.org.